Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So for this video we've got an interesting one. I don't know if you remember one of my previous videos. I did an E46 M3 dashboard which was quite damaged. I had to do a lot of fiberglassing on it. Well, the customer, Asif, has now got back in touch and said he wanted a fresh dash doing. It's a lot lighter. I know the few little bits changed to it. So he supplied me a fresh dash, which I've got here, and some other bits and bobs there. Before dropping it off, he just said to me, I'm going to pop down with the dash. Can you just basically flock it for as soon as you can, because he's going away to the ring? And I said, yeah, simple job like that, not a problem. But as a typical Asif style, the job just grew and grew. So we had a bit of a chat when he dropped it off and decided that he wants to have this sort of, this is the bit where the heat controls mounts on. What's that there? And a standard panel just plating up down there. Simple enough. And then as he went back home, a few more messages later, the job has grown and grown. And I said, listen, mate, you're asking a lot here to be done in a week. So he popped around on the weekend, dropped some more bits off that are going to help me put this all together. Little bits of trim like this to get the positioning right. And we had a good chat, and I said the spec of the build he's done is just off the scale. He's not cut any corners with it at all. It is a really good build. And I was just said to him, look, the way we're trying to do it in such a short amount of time, it's not going to look right. It'll just be a shame, because you've got all that money tied up in a car, and a lot of the stuff that you spent the money on you don't see. You will see this part of the build. So let's make it look good. So we had a good discussion. I told him my plans, and like for instance, I said, we're not going to have anything like that. Nothing like that's going to go in the car. And he was adamant. Bear in mind, this is a full-on track car. He wanted a blooming cup holder. So I've got to keep that. But I suggested I do a type of control panel for him with a loom with the little LED lights like I've done for my own car, to use that for things like, we're going to try and do it for that's the electric start stop. We've got like a 12 volt USB. There's a comms for the AIM dash. So I said, we'll just put a nice carbon panel in this area here. Possibly engrave it. It'll just look nice, look really good. And he said, yep, I'm on board with that. Can you still do it in a week? So it's like, I'll try. And he's also fetched down a very, very smart door card. This is absolutely stunning. So this has been made from full-on pre-preg. This is the best you can get. You can't get a better piece of laminate than this. But the only problem is this came with the car, and this will give you a good example of what he's like. So the cage that he had in the car was around about 4,000. He just wasn't happy with it, so he cut it out and put a new cage in, but with the door cards out. Went to put the door cards in, and this little pad here where the window switches go doesn't fit. So he's now tasked me with moulding these. And I suggested having this as a separate part. So I'm going to make a door card without this, but also make that separate with a little bit of a skirt there, so you can place this wherever you want on the door card. So wherever your crossbar is on the door, the reinforcement on the door, you can just move it wherever you want, so it's not going to foul on it. But yeah, there's a lot of work that's got to get done now. So fingers crossed we can get it done. But I'll bring you along on the journey and see what you think. So please enjoy the vid and let's get on with it. So where are we now? So I've now got this bonded in exactly where I want it. The position is perfect. So that just clips into there. But this bracketry is exactly where it needs to be. So when that sits in there, I can get it in one hand. You see the line follows a dash perfectly across. So when that centre piece goes across, it's exactly where it needs to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm 3D printing a strip to go across the bottom and a strip to go there, which will have a ledge on it. And the carbon panel will sit there, so you'll have a flocked piece there, and a ledge that this carbon panel just can screw to. And I'll also bond some L-shaped brackets on the back here, so that they'll have ledges on the sides, give it some more strength, more rigidity, because it's going to have some switchgear on it. That's a mouthful. So the 3D printer is upstairs, just going mental, trying to get this work done. Excuse me. I've also started doing some work on the door card. I've already applied a fair few coats of release wax, just using the normal sort of generic Meguiar's mirror glaze. So I've pretty much finished doing that. So a couple more layers and I'm done. Using a bit of fillet wax just to seal up these little areas here, because I don't want the resin to fall through. I'm not going to flange this up at all. I'm literally going to mould this as it is. It'll be a 2-piece mould with a join here, just for now, because I can always fill that on the main door card. I can just fill that in and then make a separate mould for that. But time is of the essence at the minute, so I need to get this moulded ASAP. It is, just looking at the clock now, with an unhappy face, it is 9:15, so it's a late one. It's going to be a while yet till I get home. But I've got a few more days to go. Let's keep pushing on, eh? Okay, so I've 3D printed these little inserts now to make the sort of the ledge for the carbon fibre panel. I'll have to do a little bit of adjustments, but yeah, I want to change the size of these. So I want to change this one so I can just bring the bottom up so it becomes a bit more flush with this. And if you just have a look at this, that's going to be on an angle like that, a little bit further around that. You just take a bit off the width, and I need to make a bit of a, need to bring the top edge back that way so it follows the profile of that. So it's going to be back onto the CAD, get another print done, and see how that looks. I think this print took just over 9 hours, so it's going to be tomorrow now till I can bond this in. But it's got to look right, so let's carry on with that. Right, so what I just seen then, what I did was I designed the outline on the computer in CAD, then just got a random piece of carbon, scruffy piece, just clean on one side, and then just stick this on, cut round it, and then just start to sand it to get it to the right shape, and it's starting to fit really nice. The only issue I've got is, because I wanted to get this lined up at the top, this it's not sitting flat. So the bottom one's lovely and flush, just as I want it. This one isn't. Now that's because, so let's get this back out. That's because of this ridge here. So all I'm going to do now is just try and sand this back so that then it'll meet this, the carbon will meet here nice and straight. But it's really starting to come together now, and not be too far off now. Looking good. Right, so I'll give you a quick update of where I am. So I've got this, I filled this backfilled this now with fiberglass, just so I've got a nice ridge just to trim the bottom up, and I've just put some high build filler over the top, so letting that go off so I can sand that smooth, and then that will look proper OEM. So when it's flocked, you thought it'd come out the factory like that. So that's where we are with the dash. With this door card mould, I've just got DA out and just trimmed it back, sanded it back to the profile of the carbon. There's a few little voids here. I mean, it's Saturday now, so I've got another void there, and I'm going to struggle to get this done really. So all I can do is get this popped out so I can mould the other side as fast as I can. So I am expecting to have a bit of damage where I've got a couple of air voids, but I can always fill that back up with filler, because this is going to be a mould to make a fiberglass version of this without the switch panel, which I'll then get remoulded. So I can afford this mould to be damaged because I can always repair it. It's going to be a quick one just to get us going. But yeah, not enough hours in a day. We've got to keep going. that was a relief. That broke out pretty easy. So you can see I've got the mould now to do the door card. All I'll do is I'll cut round where the tape is there, put a flat piece of plastic over that, then I'll refill it in from the other side, and that should give me a nice flat door card to make a fiberglass one from. Then I can remould that fiberglass once I've got round any imperfections that are in it. But so all I've got to do now is quickly mould the this area here before Asif turns up tomorrow, because then he can take this door card back, fit it to the car. You'll have to cut this off, but it is what it is. But, yep, that is a little bit of a result. Also, this filler's gone off now, so I can get this sanded back, and that should be ready for flocking. So slowly start to come together. Okay, so that's the job finished. Got the customer here, Asif. So what we've done is we've just loosely put the dash back together just to make sure everything fits, and to make sure that customer's happy. We're going to put a carbon panel over there just to trim that bit up. But the main bit of the show's here, and as you can see, it's nicely recessed and fitted flush. And this little custom little bridge going across here, I think this makes it look that little bit more OEM. And especially at the bottom here, we've filled all that in with a fiberglass. Also added a 12 volt outlet on the side. Retained his cup holders by request. Crazy. But yeah, really happy with how it's turned out. So Asif's going to take this one away now, and he's going to leave me this carbon panel. I've made him a temporary one for now, just to keep, just so you haven't got this open hole for when he's on track next week. So he's going to use this one, leave this with me. I'm going to work on this, get the engravings done for the new switches, for the windows and other things. And then I'm also going to be working on that mould for that door card, hopefully to get it ready for him to take with him when he goes to the ring. But yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2. I'll see you then. Thanks.
Bye.